And let's go.
And now it's time for Bikes, Mikes, and Idiots with your hosts, Ubi and Eric.
Alrighty, guys, here we go in the actual studio. Like I said, as you can see, it's an actual working garage because, you know,
We don't make any money.
at least eventually we might.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
it's just a good place to set up. We have it set up all the time. It's a spot in the garage. It's not being used, but you know, still gives me access to tools and everything else that I need to get the daily stuff done.
I was going to say, even realistically, even if we did start making money, we'd probably still do it in here.
Oh yeah, this is more fun.
Unless we upgrade to Damien's house.
Yeah, we could do that. Steal a room in his house.
This
for
one
the
of the rooms.
studio.
I already asked him yesterday.
What'd he say?
Oh, he was like, whichever room you want. Pick a room. He did not say that. His dog might have said that.
Yeah.
No, but luckily I was kind of in the area. I hit up one of our buddies, Damien, and he's like, oh, hey, buddy, come stop by. Have a beer. I was like, oh, okay, because I hadn't seen him in a while. We obviously hadn't seen him in a while. He didn't come up to Bike
Yeah,
Week.
exactly.
And
He's the one he's the one who saved my house though.
oh, yeah, with the
Tile. So
roof tile.
while we're at Bike Week, and it didn't end up on one of the podcasts, but I had a roof tile fall off my roof during a windstorm, bounce off an outdoor storage thing, and went flying through the window of my house. And that's right, end of Bike Week, and
It was like
a
middle
week
of Bike
later.
Week almost.
Oh yeah, it was Saturday. So and then like
No, it was Friday. Because
oh yeah,
normally
you're right.
we go to
Yeah, we were in
Creek
Cave. Yeah,
Saturday.
we did Cave Creek.
We
on
were at
Friday.
Cave Creek.
Yep, you're right. So I had to deal with that from afar, and luckily, Damien being a club brother and a real good dude we've worked with and known forever, he went and came to the house and boarded up the window for me, and so I didn't have to deal with it. I was able to enjoy the rest of Bike Week.
Which
Although
is
I did
awesome.
drink. I did drink
Yeah,
a few
you were-
whiskeys that day. I was not a happy man.
You were frustrated.
Yeah, we'll go with
Frustrated. You were just everything.
And
that
had
day.
it just happened and that was it over the weekend, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But what am I doing the next week? I fly to the Maldives
Yeah.
and go to Qatar.
You didn't have much time to do
I'm
anything, really.
28 hours away from anywhere, literally a 12-hour difference in time amongst the families. So it made it a very stressful last half of Bike Week for me.
But good thing he was there. He was able to help out and do stuff. He's a great guy.
Yes.
Like I said, I just happened to be in the area. Hit him up, and he was like, hey, yeah, come by, have a beer. Cool. I was like, yeah, I'm going to come
A
by.
beer.
I love hanging out with you, whatever. Came by, and he's like, oh, yeah, I need to move. What was that?
Must have been a cat somewhere.
But yeah, came by.
So yeah, unfortunately for you guys on the podcast, you'll have to hear it. He gave me access to a whole soundboard of
It may have been a
stupid
mistake.
things. So here's a applause for finally getting set up in our new studio.
There you
So
go.
yeah, life is good. Stop.
I think you can re-hit it and it'll stop it. But no, so I stopped by his house, pulled up. He had the garage open and everything, and then he's like, "Oh, hey, I have to get these dressers and things upstairs."
Oh, come by to have a beer
How
after you move myself into the house.
he's all, oh yeah, and I have a tattoo appointment at such and such time, so it's got to be quick. And he's like, "Do you want to have a beer before or after?" And I was like, "How about before and after?"
Yeah, that's one of those things that happens. And anytime anybody's moved, everybody understands moving is one of the most terrible things that you can deal with. So
It is,
I get it.
and on top of it, moving out of town or out of city.
Yeah.
When you're moving from city to city or town to town, whatever it may be, that makes it that much worse just because of that long distance in between.
Yep.
And I feel bad for him. Like he's done a lot by himself, and love the dude. He would give you the shirt off his back, so I had no problem.
Or
with
the
it.
wood out of his garage. I think he cut it out of the wall that he was trying to freaking put sheetrock on. He was like, I'm just gonna put it on his window.
Honestly, that wouldn't even
That would not
me.
surprise me. That would not surprise me.
But yeah, so we had to do that. Want to hear the funniest part about it, though?
Yeah, I actually do.
So we have our beers. We're just both for a while, and I was like, all right, dude, you want to get that stuff done? I was like, yeah, let's go. We go and grab the dressers. His staircase is like a 90-degree turn and then a 90-degree turn, and there's not a lot of room in between it.
So you have to go up and over the current turn.
Well, on top of it, in that, it should just be flat on that turn, the whole turn. It's flat where you first come up, step. I didn't know that. Again, brand new house for him and everything, and he's like,
well, brand new house
yeah,
for you to walk in too.
Everybody gets tripped up on that stair, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I have a dresser in my hand, and I'm tripping over it. I was like, you have the dude that just broke his leg recently.
Well, he can just, if you drop it, you can't sue him because you had a broken leg that hadn't healed properly. That's your fault.
Yeah, exactly. But then, worst thing about it, we finally get up the stairs with the first set. And I was like, dude, let's put this down. Once we finally got to the top. And we're both just huffing and puffing.
So it's got to be some heavy
crap.
stuff.
It wasn't insanely heavy.
Just awkward.
But it was heavy enough. And then it was an awkward angle and all that stuff. But then I was just telling him, I was like, holy crap, dude, we're way out of shape. I mean, hey.
Round is a shape.
I was just about to say that too.
Yeah.
Round is a shape.
And the camera angles can make all the difference.
We learned that earlier.
Yes, we did. The pumpkin patrol over here.
Pumpkin patrol. Yeah, so I had to do that. Which I didn't mind. I've been telling him like every time, like, hey dude, when you need, just let us know. We'll help you out. Like, we're here. We're close by. Hell, I live like 15 minutes from him at most. So, but he's the kind of guy, he won't ask. It's one of those.
You have to just do it.
Yeah. But great dude. Again, afterwards, he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I'm going to call him and let him know that I'm going to be late to my tattoo appointment.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we got a little visitor here. So my dog, one of my Boston Terriers came over and decided to say hello. But
they're not little.
The
they're
Bostons,
fairly big.
Well, they're big Bostons.
Yeah,
they're big Bostons, but they're still little. But so lunch today. Hadn't done it in a while. Oh yeah, you want to go on that first?
Let's go on
hit
this
that
first.
first.
So this is the reason why I ended up having to. Take dressers up some stairs. I was picking these up. So, bikes, Mikes, and idiots. And if you end up looking, we got Eric's favorite font, my favorite font.
Porsche.
Not really my favorite font, but Ferrari font.
Porsche font.
So
for our cars, for cars that we're someday gonna have.
I'd love to think that. Hey,
I'd love to drive a
have
Porsche.
some old ones.
Yeah, I'd love to drive a Porsche. I don't know if I'd want to own one just because cost of maintenance. I'm a very practical.
German cars, that's ridiculous though, ain't it?
Well, German, Italian,
German car.
anything European.
That's true.
All the
That is
European
very true.
cars are kind of high on that. So I worked all night last night. So I've been basically up since 7 p.m. yesterday, and it's almost 3
o'clock. Don't do that to me, mother.
So anyway, been up for a very long time. I'm starting to fade, but we went to lunch.
Yeah, we finally got to
Sketchy-
do lunch. We hadn't done that in a long time.
We met Sketchy Alias, one of our sponsors.
Mhm.
And it was really good to be able to be out there and see him and talk with him about our logo and how we're going with it, and our first drafts on our cups, and then we're going to be finalizing everything here in the next couple of weeks and making it all exactly how we want it.
Well, not to mention we were talking to him about also because
apparel,
everything he does,
Yeah.
it kind of leads into things we're gonna eventually branch out into. And so once we get everything finalized, we're gonna work on some little logos that are different besides our main logo.
Yeah.
So, we were talking to him about that kind of stuff and just kind of catching up, honestly, with him. Because I hadn't seen the guy in a while because
he's working.
I was about to say deployed, but he's not deployed. He's just on orders.
He's on orders, but not
he's
deployed.
on orders.
He's not outside the continental United States. He's still deployed here in states,
Yeah.
stateside.
So he's doing that, and so I haven't gotten to hang out with him in a while, and He's a great dude. Got to hang out with him and talk to him about possibly being on the podcast a little bit later.
Yep.
Which is going to be actually a funny episode because it'll be a surprise once it happens.
Yeah. Well,
don't want to give away too many details on that.
Yeah, we can't do too much letting it out. But no, this is working out good. We haven't been able to get together and actually talk in a while because, like I said, I was in the Maldives, I was in Qatar, traveling all over the world. Long flights, absolutely amazing trip. It was phenomenal. So the flight to Qatar from LA. So we drove 8 hours to LA, stayed in a hotel overnight, and then it was a 16-hour flight from LA to Qatar, and then a 8-hour layover, a 4-hour flight to Malé, near the Maldives, and 2-hour layover, and then a 45-minute seaplane ride. So, needless to say, we arrived at our hotel and we were like, "Whoa! So what do you want to do?" We're like, "We're gonna go walk to the room take a nap." We're like, "We're gonna set 3 alarms: one for 1 hour, one for 2 hours, one for 3 hours, and we'll see where we end up." And we ended up sleeping for 2 hours. Got up.
I figured you guys would have been like,
"No,
we silenced all three of those."
I thought we were going to, but no, we got up and powered through, ate dinner, and then fell asleep right around sunset that night. So, I mean, it wasn't super late. It wasn't really early. So it was about 6 p.m. We decided we're done for the night.
6 p.m. their time.
6 p.m. their time, which was 6 a.m. our time.
Yeah.
So
which is pretty much the time.
Actually, I take that back. 4 a.m. our time because it's 14 hours from Mali to here, 12 hours from Qatar to here. But
which for you it was awesome because you work midnights anyways. So
yeah, but not being up for 26 straight hours or whatever it is too. So
I guess
we were all tired. So we got that kind of helped us reset to their time frame. So then we woke up a little bit after sunrise. The wife went out running. I went down, sat out, and had a nice espresso on the back porch. And the Maldives, like I can't tell you, the watercolor. You've seen some of the pictures.
I was about to say, you sent me pictures.
It looks fake. Yeah. Like it looks like no Photoshop at all.
Turquoise, but you could see the bottom.
Yeah, it was very, very amazing. Best vacation I've ever had. The wife and I had a really good time there. So we spent 8 days in the Maldives.
And then your bungalow was over the water too.
Yes. So we had a glass plate in the floor that we could see through, and they lit it up at night. And so there was the first night, because the first night we went and had dinner, came back to the room. I'm like, oh, we're gonna have some wine. We'll have a glass of wine and we'll go swimming in the ocean. And we're standing there getting ready to go swim in the ocean. I'm filling up my wine and for my second glass of wine, and I'm looking down. I'm like, oh my god, look at those fish. And we look down at the fish, and then a big 5-foot shark goes through. We're like, oh, I think we'll get in the pool.
Yeah.
So we had a private pool on the back porch of our bungalow. So it was really nice. We were able to really have a good time. So we decided that night that at nighttime we're in the private pool, and during daytime we'll go in the ocean, because those sharks, whether or not it's a nurse shark or a coral tip reef shark, I don't care. It's a shark, and it was 5 foot long, and I'm not going to be dancing with sharks that are 5 feet long.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with them either.
No.
I mean, it'd be cool to jump down in a shark cage and all that stuff to kind of experience it, just to experience it. But other than that, I'm going to stay away from sharks.
I'll mark it on the things of they're faster than me in the water, and I don't have it.
Most things are faster than you, though.
Not in the water.
Are you sure?
Quick versus fast. Remember, we talk about that. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But so we did the Maldives for 8 days. Then we flew back to Qatar. And I have friends that I met in Italy when I went to our Italian chapter in Italy. I met some guys from Qatar that work and live there. And they were all super excited. Oh, well, if you're going to be in the Maldives, you got to stop and see us in Qatar. So we extended our vacation out a couple of days and decided, you know what, we'll stay in Qatar for 2 or 3 days. So we were there for I say 3 days. It was really about 2.5 when you figure in, time change. And by the time we got there, sleeping, all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah. So we got there, and one of the guys in the club, his name's Bob. Awesome dude. He's a friend on my Instagram.
No.
He loaned me his road glide while we were there.
That is awesome. So just as a random kind of off topic, but on topic again, are big baggers, dressers, is that kind of a normal thing out there?
Absolutely not.
I was gonna say because I'm assuming
very few American motorcycles there. Almost everything that you see there is going to be scooters, Vespas. They had a lot of Yamaha scooters out there. I don't know the names of them, but I looked at them.
Scooters?
I was like, oh yeah,
I didn't
it's
know
like
Yamaha made scooters.
So Bob, who is 6'2", probably 6'3", like shoulders wider than mine, big. He's a big dude. You've seen pictures of him. He rides a Vespa to work. So he has this big, like when you think about an Egyptian god, this is what this guy looks like, and he drives his Vespa to work. He's like, he lives 3 to 5 miles, between 3 and 5 miles to work, and he's like,
so he's very.
I get up early in the morning. He's like, he's economical, but he has a U.S. spec Mustang convertible, which he picked us up and drove us around Qatar in, which was amazing with the drop top down. Oh, and he has 2 motorcycles. He has a Fat Bob, I think it's a Fat Bob, and a Road Glide. So he let me borrow the Road Glide. He rode the Fat Bob while we were there, and we drove about 500 miles in Qatar in 2.5 days, and we went and saw everything. Ate all the local food, hung out with their club, did a ride with their club. I mean, it was absolutely amazing, and we've talked about in other podcasts about the biker community. It's not just the biker community in the United States; it's the biker community everywhere. Like these guys took care of us. They were just absolutely amazing, and I can't say enough good things about him. He's just an amazing, amazing guy.
And that's like we said prior in one of our prior episodes, like that's part of the reason why we're doing this also is to kind of take away some of that stigma from the biker community, because people, it's still a thing. Like I don't think that's ever going to go away, especially because of the stuff like that.
Well, and people don't understand the whole idea around it. It's just it's foreign to people because everyone, oh, you're going to die on that motorcycle. No, I live on that motorcycle. Yeah, I might die in a wreck, but I live on that bike.
And that's something that it's going to end up being on an episode. If you guys end up wanting to see that episode that it ended up coming out on because it didn't have good audio, we talked about my favorite word, which is not my favorite word, YOLO. Yeah. The way the kids use it. Yodo. Because Yodo. The way the kids use it, because it stands for something that's actually really good. I believe it's really good. You only live once. And that's really supposed to be out there as, hey, you only live once. You only have one lifetime to live. You know, go and go and live it. Not be
dumb.
Yeah, not go be dumb and do dumb well, granted, we do dumb things, but that's, you know, it's kind of within a spectrum.
Managing your dumb things is an important thing to learn, and that's something that people learn along the way. Is you've got to manage your dumb things. Everybody does things that are stupid. Everybody does.
Yeah,
you got to manage them.
And then that's the thing too, is like if you don't really do dumb things, have you lived life? Have you really lived? You know what I mean? And that's why
you've got to flirt on the side of stupid once in a while.
Yeah,
and that's why you really do. Flirt on the side of stupid. Just don't be stupid all the time.
Yeah.
Flirt on.
You gotta be responsible, do all that stuff. But that's why, like, I love the meaning behind you only live once, because it means live your life. Yeah. Do, go skydiving.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, next time, just give me a hint and give me a heads up.
No, those came out in a string of burps there. I'm sorry. It's Sushi. Does it to me. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. But I think people don't understand it.
No.
And especially like the younger generation, because that whole YOLO thing. And they took that to mean you only live once, go do a bunch of dumb things, go be, from the whatever podcast, from the whatever podcast, 304s.
Yeah.
If you know what that means. Yeah. Like,
I might not be jiggy with everything, but I'm jiggy with certain things. Get jiggy with it.
Not gonna lie, I heard that song the other day. It's actually a great song.
It is a great song.
Good song.
It really is a great song.
But like, people don't really do that.
No, they don't. No,
they don't really flirt with.
The thing is they go full stupid or super responsible.
Yeah.
And I've got friends who've never done anything outside of the, I can't do that, I'll get in trouble. Sometimes you got to do a little trouble. It's worth it.
No, and that's
I'm
what
not
makes life
saying
worth living.
I'm not saying go out and murder somebody. That's not what I mean by get a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, it might work for OJ, but it doesn't work for most other people. Allegedly.
R.I.P. OJ.
The juice just expired.
The juice just that was a good one.
Hey, yeah.
You know,
For a guy who hasn't had much sleep in the last 24 hours, I'm doing pretty darn good.
you really are. No, but like, yeah.
And I got to work tonight. Overtime. Ugh.
That's your fault.
It is, but we had a guy from work who had a serious family situation, so he can't be at work, and I wasn't going to leave us short at work, so I volunteered to do it to cover for my boy so he could be off.
That kind of brings us back into what we were saying a little bit earlier, where, you know, doing what we're doing right now and kind of doing all this stuff, it is to try to take away a little bit of that stigma.
Yeah.
Like, granted, the podcast is called Bikes, Mikes, and Idiots, but it's not going to be just about bikes. Obviously, you've seen we haven't really talked about bikes up to this point even. And it's just kind of to bring out, hey, the community is actually, you know, there's a lot of good people in it.
It's all regular people.
And granted, in any community that you're in, there's those bad apples.
Good, bad, and different. Yeah,
But,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But for the most part, like, anyone that rides, they're going to go give a helping hand to another person that rides.
Yep.
That's why you got the biker wave, you know what I mean? Just like the Jeep wave, but I think it's a little bit better than that cuz I don't think that community is as
As far as Jeeps?
as far as Jeeps, I don't think that
If you're not a hardcore off-roader,
Yeah.
the hardcore off-roaders think you're a mall crawler.
Yeah.
Which, if you're a mall crawler, you're a mall crawler. Who gives a crap? It's your vehicle.
Yeah. And
You know.
and they look good.
And I can't say anything because I'm sitting here. I've got a Jeep in the garage, which you guys, you might be able to see on one of the cameras if we do a shot and angle it.
We could probably do a little quick shot of it.
But we've got a Jeep Rubicon, and we don't off-road it that much because it's a $50,000 Jeep with
Plus.
$30,000 worth of crap on it.
Yeah.
That I've had to install. So that's why we talk about this as a working garage. I have, riveters. I've got all sorts of equipment.
Maybe we'll do a little picture of your garage.
Oh God,
so we
it's
can
a
put
mess
it up
right now. Maybe not.
We'll clean
it up a
and
little
then,
bit.
and then be able to post up a picture so they can see
Yeah,
you got a lift in there and you got all that stuff for the roof and all that.
Yeah, I got a rear lift for the top. I've got lifts for the bikes. I've got air tools. I've got two toolkits that are completely spec'd out with everything that I need for them, and I do everything but real engine breakdowns. I don't want to work on internals. I don't want to do that. I'll pay somebody else when my motor blows up in my bike or my truck again.
Hey, the guys we had on before,
Yeah.
they'll work on them.
Yeah. Well, they do Fords though. I'm not driving a Ford right now. Even though I have a Mustang GT350 behind me. Great car, 5.2 liter, flat plane crank. Sounds amazing.
The
But
flat
anyway.
crank, that's why
That's the Voodoo engine. Oh,
that's why
I drool.
Ferrari flat plane
Porsche.
crank.
Yep. But
Does Porsche do flat plane cranks though? On their normal engines,
On the
because I
bo-
think the
They have a
GT2 might have a
couple-
flat plane.
it might. I don't know with the Boxers. I don't even know if you can do a flat plane crank on the Boxers because they're horizontally opposed. Any Boxer motor, I don't think you can. But I'm not. I don't dive that deep into them. So we'll have to. We'll do some research
We'll
for the
do
next
research. We're not
podcast
gonna
and
do
go
it
from
here.
there.
But yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing is like,
Yeah.
it's a great community, all different sorts of type of people. Like,
Yep.
you never know what you're going to run into.
Yep.
And that's kind of why we're doing this. We're doing it to kind of reach out to people and
And
just
the girls from, was it Phoenix Leathers?
Phoenix Motor Leathers.
Phoenix Motor Leathers. They were saying the same thing. Like, you have a accountant, you've got a mechanic, and everybody's riding bikes.
The owner was a nuclear engineer.
nuclear
prior.
engineer. And on The Simpsons,
Yeah, that was actually
How-
cool.
how
That's
cool
actually a
is that?
cool
Like,
thing.
that's-
like, if you really think about it, that's a really
I know
cool thing.
very few. I don't know anybody who's been on The Simpsons other than her.
Yeah.
And like super cool. And she hooked us up on our leathers. We went and got gloves from her. She did an awesome
Clarifying
job.
moment for that. She wasn't actually on The Simpsons. She
A
didn't
character
voice the person.
was a character was
based
on her. Yes.
Which
Who Homer Simpson had little happy time. Not necessarily happy times, but he had a little
he
crush
had
on
a little
her. A little fling.
What did they call it?
Crush.
I don't know. It was entanglement.
A work entanglement.
A work entanglement.
Kind of like you and me.
Except it's outside of work too.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. What do you call that?
I don't know. Stupid.
But that's us. You know what I mean? I mean,
we're idiots.
That's what we do.
Yep. But no, it worked out really good. Like they were great ladies to talk to. Had some really good insight on the safety gear and everything. So, you know, we're kind of pushing that out to everybody. We want to kind of do things that everybody can kind of see, but you know, and kind of meet up and think about people as a little bit different and think about how cool we are, all in our own way and what we do. And
I don't know. I'm pretty hot.
It's warm in here, so the AC is going to get put on here next time.
Yeah, we might have to.
Actually, we'll just buy a floor AC and punch it out through the bottom vent there. So
that wouldn't be the worst idea.
No, because I'll be sitting right next to it on my side. Oh, I didn't even plug the sign in for the video yet.
Oh, well,
I'll do it in a minute.
You can always turn it on. I'll take over this little part.
Yeah, how about it?
But I mean, that's kind of the thing we do. We're just kind of idiots. We just hang out. We have a great time together. We do dumb things, but we're responsible with it. We don't go too far.
It's like being comfortably numb. You're just responsible with it.
Sure. We'll go with that.
Or something.
Yeah, but going on to what we did earlier, we had lunch with Sketchy, like you said. And that's something we do on a normal basis, just me and him. This is actually where the podcast stemmed from, honestly.
And actually, I want to say it was almost born out of our sushi lunches, because we would be sitting there in the local place that we go every Friday at 11. I'm not going to talk.
Yeah, don't say.
They're not a sponsor, so we're not saying the name. They decide to sponsor us, we'll push them all over the place. But
maybe we'll have some of their sushi here.
We literally walked in. It's been a month since we've been there, and we went in there like, "Oh, you guys want your regular drinks?" We're like, "Yep."
Yeah, they knew
they
us.
Knew us right away as soon as we walked in. So we go there. We have our sushi on Fridays. A little bit of and we just talk about our week and everything that happened. And we would have people in tables 2-3 tables over listening to us, laughing because they're like, "You guys." And they would get up and leave and say, "You guys are hilarious." And we're like, "It's just how we are." And that's where the whole podcast kind of got born out of is
having our lunches and just being
just chatting and being
how
us.
we normally chat and doing the things we do. And I would notice it. I noticed it out of the corner of my eyes, and I'd tell them, I'd be like, "Hey, Eric, these people over here are like listening," and you could see them. You could see them like peeking over.
Oh yeah, they put their food down. They put their food down and wait for us to. What's the next part of the plot?
Right? So, I mean, that's kind of where this whole thing ended up starting from, was us going out and having lunches, being idiots. And that's just, honestly, our personality, really.
Yeah.
We're idiots. So
we are funny. We are funny. Like, even Sketchy today was just like, "Oh my God, you guys are..." He's like, "I've watched a couple of your podcasts already, and you guys are literally the same on the podcast as you are in real life." And that's a really cool thing, because I think it makes us more genuine.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the way we are. And anybody will tell you, this is the way you are.
Yeah, so we're not trying to put on a thing for the show. It's not a show for
honestly,
us.
we do. We do this for fun.
Yeah. And that's really kind of where it stemmed from, too, was like trying to do it for fun. But this is what we kind of do. We're going to be genuine. Granted, we do a little bit of like, we have to clean it up a little bit sometimes.
Well, we drop some pretty vulgar language. Felonious. No, it's not felonious, but
I thought that was funny.
We're pretty vulgar because of being law enforcement officers. You kind of pick up the language of the people you deal with.
The people you deal with are...
Using that kind of language with you, you pick it up. And
no, you do.
And a lot of it is, you just don't realize it. Like, we try to clean it up. I always do my best not to do that. But sometimes it just kind of happens.
No, and honestly, that's just how we are. You got to be part of the
crew. You know what I mean? Like, I figured I had to. No, but you got to be part of the crew. It's not, and not even part of the crew. It's just you adapt to that environment.
Yeah. And if people use vulgar language around you, you kind of just fall into it. And is it right, wrong? Who knows? I mean, I actually use better language than it's on most TV shows currently on TV. So
it's gotten insane, hasn't it? Like,
yeah, the
allow
censors
now.
allow a lot more on there than they have in the past. So, I mean, I don't care. Language is language. If you let it offend you,
Granted, yeah.
that's on you.
Okay, so here's the thing.
But if you were to tell me, hey, I don't like that language, I will dial it back for you out of common courtesy. That's called being a good human being.
And that's something that's very rare to find nowadays.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too, is like for us, because of what we've been doing for so long, I think that's also helped. I already kind of had a thick skin prior.
Yeah.
Just because the way I grew up and everything, having, kind of hard parents, which made me into the man I am now. But like,
I'm tired. I'm sorry.
It made me into the man I am now. Yeah. And then the environment we're in, like, you have to have a thick skin. If you don't, it will eat you alive.
If you let somebody calling you, and you're gonna probably end up having to zap this out. If you have a problem with somebody calling you an asshole when you're out doing your job, and that's going to cause you to lose your temper, etc., you're in the wrong line of work.
Oh, absolutely.
You need to separate yourself from that emotional portion of your job.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's compartmentalizing things.
Yes, which we do with when we find dead people at vehicle accidents, etc. The way we deal with it is we joke about it. Oh yeah, did you see that guy's arm? Yeah, he was patting himself on the back.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing is like we run into so many things, and it's not even just that. Like, it's even simple things that would trigger people. Yeah, and so you have to build that thick skin. You have to do that. And
resiliency.
It's
being resilient. You create resiliency for yourself,
and so you have to do it. And that's why we talk so much crap to each other.
Well, because it's therapy. Honestly, it's therapy for us.
Because that's the thing too, is like, if you can't laugh at yourself, if you can't laugh at the things you're doing, or you did something dumb,
just own it.
You're living life too seriously.
Well, and if you tell, especially in a law enforcement forum, if you show somebody that what they said bothered you, it's coming to you tenfold.
They're gonna eat you alive.
They're gonna eat you alive. That's gonna be the one thing. If you said, I don't like purple sponges, they're going to put 5,000 purple sponges in your mailbox over the next year.
Or you're going to open your locker.
And sponges are going to wall of sponges. Because that's what we do to each other, to make you... And I almost think it's out of necessity that they do it to give you that skin of, hey, yeah, we're doing this. And we always joke all the time. If I don't give you crap, it's because I don't like you. Yeah. If I don't give you a hard time, it's because I don't like you.
Absolutely.
Or I don't trust you. And that's the other part of it is I've said things to people that they're like, what the heck is that? And I'm like, we have an understanding.
Yeah. And
we trust each other.
Yeah. And if you're outside looking in, you're like, what the hell is going on?
Like, what do I say to you every morning you wear a cowboy hat at work?
I want to punch you in the face.
And people are like, "Oh my god, he's going to punch him in the face." Oh yeah, which would not be good.
You have a serious face going on too. Oh, yeah. Like, you got a good little poker face going on.
My poker face, and it's not what she says. But anyway,
but yeah. So I mean, that's a big thing, and that's one of the things where I brought it up in our intros. Yeah, when we did our intros. And it's a hard thing to live by. Honestly, it's a hard thing to live by. Is you work to live, you don't live to work. Yep. And I was actually talking to Damien about that too, because
I might die to work tonight because it's going to be a long night.
Hey, welcome to my world. I do that every time. I sleep about 4 hours a night, honestly. But no, like it is a hard thing to live by, and I'm sure it extends out to more than law enforcement, more than those kind of societies.
Nurses, well, you think about like sanitation workers, like dealing with people's trash all day. Actually, one of the highest situations of suicide in the workplace is dentists.
Remember, that's a bad word. Yes.
I guess you're going to have to beep, 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 whatever you got to do for that.
We're fine, though. As long as we're not explicitly saying it too many times. But, yeah, we're bringing awareness to it, so that's not a bad thing. But, yeah, no, you're right. And
we don't, like, you and I don't understand that. We're like, why? But they understand. We have a different mentality. We have a different mind about it.
Because a lot of people are like that. Yeah. And we don't understand that because we have a different mindset. We're thinking differently, and that's why we like to help people out and do all those things, because it's a hard thing to live by, and we struggle with it. I'm sure you struggle with it too. Is of living. You live to work a lot of times, not working to live, and like you have those moments, and work comes home with you, and you do all those things. And like I said originally, I was like, if we can help one person out with this podcast of hanging out and doing all that stuff, that would be awesome, because you know what I mean? Like, I struggle with it. I still struggle with it, trying to do that, of separating it completely and being able to live my life and have fun. You know?
That was actually not a button on the board. That's the dog saying hello to the children.
There you go.
But I'm with you there on that, and it really makes a lot of sense when you think about, like, work-life balance is so hard with any job. I know attorneys that spend 60 hours a week on their job, and they come home and their families are like, "Where have you been?" So it's the same idea, and you've got to find that work-life balance. And the hardest part of it is teaching yourself the work-life balance.
Absolutely.
Because you want to do well. You know, we're all hardwired to do the best that you can do at your job, to do, you know, whatever you can do to be the best of the best of the best, you know, and that's an MIB line. Head in black. Anyway.
No, never would have guessed.
The best of the best of the best, sir.
Sir.
We went from Jiggy with it to that.
Hey,
Will Smith
there's
Day.
the connection.
Will Smith Day. So, I mean, it's one of those things that...
You must have been jamming out to it on the way to lunch.
Yeah, well, we learned what quick versus fast is. Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's really hard to explain sometimes for people who don't understand it. But I think everybody to some degree lives it. Yeah. Or has at one point in their life.
And that's the thing. Understanding versus living it. I think everybody lives it, regardless of the job. Like, even if you enjoy your job, you might not understand it, because it does. Your work will engulf your life, and you want to have. I don't know what you heard.
I don't know if it's a dog or a child.
Both.
It's a dog child.
There you go.
Man, boy, dog.
Wait, do you put your dogs in strollers?
No. Absolutely.
Sorry, I just said I had to
I have put them in a backpack before to take them on the motorcycle. So we had a backpack that has a clip. It's a backpack that's got a clip for the collar, so that they can't get out of the backpack, and you can put it on and ride it. So like the head's sticking next to my head while we're riding the motorcycle. I just do it in the neighborhood. I won't take them on the highway.
Yeah,
it's not safe.
Probably not.
But no, the dog's like,
that's kind of cool. Having a great old time.
He's amazing. It's a Harley, not an Indian. Anyway.
I didn't know we were going down that road yet. But
we just turned down there.
I'm sure that's going to happen all the time.
All the time. Every day.
Because,
my $7,000 freaking engine upgrade not happening.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm outnumbered at least 1,000 to 1 on a regular basis. So most people we're going to run into in kind of our community, because it is
even
different
sketchy.
Communities. Even sketchy.
Same
even
bike
sketchy.
as me, just a year newer.
Although I remember when he got his, and I was there with him, kind of hanging out and stuff. But outnumbered probably 1,000 to 1. And it's just what can you do?
Just adjust fire, move on.
Adjust. But then again, my only saving grace is my bike, for the most part, quicker, better, best money. Best, what is it called? Value. You get the best value for your money. There you go. That's the right word.
I can go with that.
So those are my real only arguments.
Faster.
your speed limiter's faster.
Yeah, and when I hit my speed limiter, I still have about 1,000 RPMs to go, and you're already at 6K.
Not even close.
That's what you told me on the way.
No,
in.
I didn't. That's not even what I said.
But
I can hit my speed limiter in fifth gear.
no, but I'm saying in sixth gear, you're already topping on. That's what you said. You said I was at 6,000 RPM.
No. I said I hit 6,000 RPMs coming out.
Oh, coming out. Oh, okay,
Because
so
remember, my supposed
it's 5,000.
is 5,500.
So
55 or
I do think
5,600.
you're chipped.
It might be.
They just didn't take up your speed limiter because they're dumb.
Which, I mean, granted, it's probably not the worst idea. I mean,
No, it's an 800-pound bike. Do you need to go more than 100?
No.
Probably not.
So, yeah, but, I mean, that's the kind of things we do. And we would just have fun with it. That brings us back into that whole thing we were talking about of, like, enjoying things.
Yep.
Being able, the whole YOLO thing.
Well, I looked over and, you got ahead of me and you're grinning, and then I 2 mile an hour faster past you like a shark, which we'll get to
Jaws.
our next deal. I slowly go past you at 2 miles an hour. I look at you and I smile, and I can see you going, I hate you.
You could see it on my face.
Oh, yes.
Because it was uncovered.
But you went from smiled to frown to I went to smiled, and then the next time we accelerated, I frowned.
Yeah.
So I looked at a 122 upgrade for my Harley, and it's too much money for what I want to do. So I'll probably do a suspension upgrade before I do the
Oh, yeah.
motor.
I
I'll
think
wait till my motor blows.
Honestly, I think
If
I
my
would.
motor blows up, I'll do something different.
Because we really think
The bike's
about it.
fast enough.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, when do we really do that? Hey, we're always in a safe environment. We're doing, how often are we actually doing that? Doing this thing. So, I mean, and having a quick bike makes a significant difference.
Yeah, so that was the thank you for the sushi delivery.
Oh.
So stayed off camera.
Well,
But
I'll have to let her know
yeah.
that I said hi, but that'll be later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the quick versus fast argument.
Yeah.
I mean,
Your bike is quick.
yeah.
All of them are fast.
I mean, and
Let's be honest. Think
depends on
about
your definition of fast.
Well, think about
because
60s cars.
ask Bob what fast is.
Well, it's fast now.
Well, regardless, but I'm just saying, what's fast?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To him,
To him, 100's nothing.
yeah, that's
A dude who's raced NASCAR trucks, who's done all sorts of freaking power sports racing, drag racing, 100 miles an hour is like, yeah, it doesn't even get his heart rate up.
exactly. That's what I'm
So,
saying.
I mean-
Like, so it depends on the person, but
Yeah.
regardless, fast is not subjective. It's objective.
Yeah.
But it can kind of be subjective depending on who you are. Because if you've done land speed records,
Oh, yeah.
200 miles an hour to you is
Nothing.
not fast. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you think
So,
about the fastest Indian. That dude had a land speed record
Oh, yeah,
for
for the
motorcycles
longest
for
time.
years.
it was like 40 years almost.
Yeah, it was a long time. And then now they're doing 600 miles an hour across the ground or something.
that's just ridiculous.
They're hitting a sound barrier on cars.
on
on the-
cars. Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
So it is what it is. So
But-
we talked about me chasing you like a shark. So what do you think about the story that came out about the boat
Megalodon?
with the 6-foot dorsal fin following it? Like, that's me standing on the water
Yeah,
next to a boat.
same here.
That's
6
over
foot
the
me.
top of the gunwale of most boats. That's
insane, dude. If you
tall.
really think about it, that's insane.
Like-
because
and supposedly there's a video. I looked
haven't
online.
seen the
I
video.
haven't
I
been
haven't
able.
been able to
I
find
haven't
it.
been able to find the video, but it said, "Oh man, videos, blah 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 blah," and you don't see it. So I'm kind of skeptical, but at the same time, think
It's
about
believable.
how deep our oceans are.
it's honestly believable. Because if you really think about it, like how much we've explored more of space
Than we have of
more
our
of our
own
solar,
oceans.
sorry, our solar
solar
system.
system.
Solar system. Because
Space is
very
big.
but we've explored more of
like
our
my
solar
bed.
system than we have your pumpkin.
My pumpkin.
We've explored more of the solar system.
Pumpkins in this house.
Yeah. We've explored more of the solar system than we have
Yeah.
of the seafloor.
Yep.
And it all has to do with just well, it's called atmospheric pressures. It's
Atmospheres, actually.
well,
atmospheric
it's-
pressure. Atmospheres.
and whatever the
Pounds per square inch,
it's
whatever.
Yeah, but it's ATMs, I think.
Yeah, atmospheres. It's number of
so-
atmospheres. So,
It's
like my new
insane.
watch that I have is good to 300 meters, which is 900 feet.
More than 900 feet because a meter
Yeah,
is
a
just
meter's like-
but it's like yeah. So let's say
It's
930.
Like that's like, oh, I'm at 900 feet,
Yeah,
and you're just
it's-
dead. It just
you'd never get there.
no.
You would never
You're
get
done.
there. Like honestly, like it's insane the amount of pressure the water brings.
What is the name of the sub that imploded?
Oh,
Seagate.
they called it Seagate after
The
it happened.
company,
They were
yeah.
calling it Seagate, but it was. I almost wanted to say Challenger because of
No.
the whole Challenger thing, but it wasn't. It was. Oh, you know what? We can look it up.
Look it up on your laptop.
We can look this up. But yeah, that was
So,
actually
like-
a funny thing to do.
Like,
You know,
no offense, it's carbon fiber, not designed for that kind of thing. But you know, the guy
yeah. Why would anyone think that was?
for
Gonna
an
be enough.
initial or for a few dives, maybe. But I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't claim to be. I just know that like you can break carbon fiber by stepping on it.
You can, but it is super strong.
Yeah.
It's stronger than steel, pound for pound, whatever that actual
Yeah.
measurement is. So,
But
I mean,
does
makes
it have the
sense.
same resistance?
Titan submersible?
Titan submersible. Yeah, that thing imploded like a mofo.
And also, this is part of the reason why you now have this, so you can kind of look up things too as well. But
Like conversate,
Like
which is
conversate, which
actually a
would-
word. Like
it is a word.
I admitted it.
You
I
did.
actually put it on there. Said I admit I was
Hey,
wrong.
You did the big man thing,
Yep.
and you admitted that you were wrong.
I can't do the small man thing. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you got the pumpkin going,
Hey,
it's okay. I got the pumpkin going too.
it's okay. You're Peter Pumpkin Eater.
I don't know when I turned into Peter, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, I think on the actual topic we were talking about, I think Megalodon could actually be a thing
I don't disagree with you. I just
because
think
we
it's,
still have whales. The blue whale,
Yeah.
being the largest mammal, you know, but I think it's a possibility
I
because
just think with all of our now, I'm going to go into tinfoil hat.
tinfoil hat.
But like with as much depth as our Navy subs can get, how do they not encountered anything yet, or did it just avoid them?
Well, and that's the thing though, like.
Yeah, they hear the sonar. Do they think, oh, no, I'm
Well,
out?
it
But
doesn't even have to be the sonar, just that thing going through the water.
Yeah.
Because
it's big enough to be something that they're scared of. Because our subs are not small.
No, they're
Submarines
not.
are not small by
No,
design.
because you have how many people on a sub?
Well, you've got
50
nuclear
plus?
reactors. You've got depending on what type of sub it is, ballistic missile or attack sub. It's going to have different dimensions, but ultimately they're not small things.
No, it's not. It's not. And
Would it see it as a threat and just I'm staying away from that thing,
or even just then, like, how many fish does it actually run into?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm saying, like, because
So if a submarine makes a sound in the middle of the ocean and no one's there to hear it, does it really make a sound?
is this the whole bear question?
I think so.
If a bear poops in the woods, I think it's the same question.
I think it might be.
Oh no, wait. If a tree falls in the woods,
Oh yeah. If a
I
bear
don't know how
poops
a
in the
bear-
woods and then chases you, do you have to be faster than the bear? No. Faster than the slowest person in your group.
or you shoot him with a kneecap.
Yeah, no, it works.
But I think honestly, I think it's a possibility just for the fact of the oceans are so massive,
Yeah.
you know, and we only think there's so many whales. There's probably more.
Oh yeah.
There's probably more whales than we think there is. The ocean's just so insane, and then that brings you into like UFOs.
Yeah. And
Because
then you go down
UFOs
like a
you go down a whole
like,
rabbit hole.
There's no way we're the only intelligent life. And I'm air quoting that for those that just are listening on
Because
audio
of this
because-
podcast because of who we are.
Yeah. People are like exactly.
Yeah. That.
So like it's hard to believe that we're the only things that are in our universe. Didn't work that time.
No, it did, but it just barely slightly.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's I don't know.
We're going to into all sorts of conspiracy theories about aliens with big heads and big black eyes. They're creepy. And they probed me.
Oh, that's a story for another time. I'm assuming.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that one another time.
But yeah, I think it takes you down that whole path. So yeah, but yeah, I think that's something we could probably explore again.
Yeah,
we'd need a ton of time because then you go into Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot.
Oh, and there's Champy in upstate New York.
Champy, which is essentially it's the same idea of Loch Ness.
The New York
Monster.
Loch Ness.
Yeah, it's
Sasquatches,
which is Bigfoot.
Yeah,
you know,
Yetis.
and then Chupacabra. Yeah, that's a It leads all into
folklore,
that, which
vampires.
Ooh.
Now I do have to say, when we were in the Maldives, we saw the biggest bats on the planet. Oh my God, those things are huge. The big old fruit bats.
You sure they weren't vampires?
Yes, I'm very sure they weren't vampires. They're eating like oranges and crap or whatever they were grabbing. But they looked like they had dog faces, but they were like 2 feet long from like butt to head, and then their wingspan was like 3-4 feet long. They were absolutely huge, cool as heck, but just
they're scary creatures,
and they're around during the day. Fruit bats are awake all day.
Really?
So they're like, we're sitting at the pool and we're like drinking our drinks, and a bat flies by. You're like, ugh. And it lands in the tree, goes upside down. It's like all hanging out, and
it's kind of creepy, honestly.
Yeah, they are.
Bats are kind of creepy.
It reminded me of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where like the bats all fly out of the. Oh
yeah.
No, thank you.
No, yeah.
I'm fine with 1 or 2 that I saw there, but if I saw like a whole swarm, if that's
Herd
even
of bats.
I don't know what is it.
What? Well, there you go. Look, there you go. You can look things up. You can go on.
I can't see anything.
Go on the Google machine there, and
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd be terrified if there was like a herd of bats that came through. Well, okay, one bat alone that was like close to me.
I think it's a Bemidji of bats.
Bemidji? I highly doubt you look that up.
Yeah, I just made that up.
Yeah, I kind of figured. But I mean, bats are weird creatures.
Yeah,
and especially like the whole sonar thing. The fact
that
and
the fruit bats don't do
sonar.
that.
They don't run off sonar? I thought they did.
No. It's a cauldron of bats.
A cauldron?
A cauldron, like
witches?
Yeah, which is creepy.
That's still creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy that it's called a cauldron of bat because witches are creepy.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, I found it.
Look at you learning technology.
Yeah, I'm literally pressing like an arrow and a button. It's not that difficult.
But we had to set you up.
No, we did. Yeah, it gives me something to do. Give me something to do to keep me awake after 35 hours. No, it's not 35.
Yeah, not even close. But
it's
I mean, I'm sure you took a nap. But no, I mean.
No, I didn't because you said I'll be here early. And so I didn't go to sleep. And then you were an hour and a half later than you said you were going to be.
I was only like 30 minutes later than I said I was going to be. I got here at 10:15.
Yeah, you said you were going to be there at 9:15.
I said the thing ended at 9:30.
Oh, okay.
And
Either
you
way,
said
I
you were
didn't
gonna
fall
wake
asleep.
up at 9:45.
Either way, I didn't fall asleep. It didn't matter.
Yeah, you were like, I can't fall asleep, and I was like, you're
excited?
You're a toddler.
You said first. Yeah, you said first. You a toddler. I'm like, no. I said maybe. I think.
Yeah, you said. Yeah.
And then you said, "What? Are you just excited?" I said, "No, I'm just too tired to sleep." And that's what brought the toddler.
That's what I said. You're a toddler.
Sleep, yeah.
But I mean, this is actually going to be a good podcast here. This is probably where we're at that cutting point because we're going into some weird stuff. Yeah. And honestly, we'll probably go into more weird stuff again.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's.
But when
lack
we
of sleep is
have time.
Lack of sleep is really helping this one along today for the weird stuff. But that's all right. We'll move forward for the next one, and
yeah,
I think we're
talk
just
about more
about ready to call it. For
yeah,
this
I think
one
we'll call it on this one because we're about to go into a really deep subject that I don't think we're in the mood to be talking about, because we can honestly go on for this for hours.
Aliens? Oh, yeah.
Aliens.
I've seen some
Bigfoot.
weird stuff, so.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a lot of things too. So I think we're gonna wrap this up a little bit.
Pumpkins.
Us.
Yeah, that's us.
But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna head out for the day and call it a good podcast today.
Let's do it.
All right, buddy.
All right,
So
hey,
I
thank
think
you guys for joining us. And as always, we shout out to our
founding sponsors,
and it's going to be Legion of St. Michael and
Sketchy Alias. So we got these guys. They're the ones that actually help make this happen. So hopefully you guys go check them out. Legion of St. Michael is on Instagram. They have multiple chapters on there. They have the international stuff on there.
Yep.
They have the national stuff. We have our local chapter on Instagram as well.
And we have our own website as well.
Oh yeah, we do. And then Sketchy's got Instagram, and his webpage recently went live.
Yep.
Probably a week or two ago. Went live not too long ago.
We'll throw that information up for you at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, we'll put a link in. We'll put a link in the description for his website, and you can go pick up some of his stickers, which probably on our next podcast we'll have a few of his stickers out, so you guys can see them. Awesome stickers, by the way. You saw them, right?
Yeah, I got to give them back to you. They're in my jacket right now.
So they're awesome stickers. He does great design work. He's, super supportive. Like I said, he's probably going to be on one of our podcasts here real soon, hopefully.
Yep.
Hopefully we can get him on here. And he does great work. He's working with a bunch of people. What was he saying he was working with today?
You're asking the guy who's half asleep during all of... Well, actually, I think that was... You guys were talking about that when I was on the phone with the dealership.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Upgrading the motor, which
you're
I'm
right.
not
We were talking about that while you were while you were on the phone dealing with other stuff. But yeah, he's working with a few other people. He actually, as a side thing from his sketchy whole thing, I think he signed on to be a designer for somebody.
Yep, that's right. He's on retainer.
Yeah, he's on a retainer.
I
for
don't
somebody
remember who he
because
said it
he
was,
does
though.
such good work.
Yeah.
So if you guys ever need design work, you guys ever need anything designed up, you want a
Reach
little
out to him
logo,
for sure.
If you want some stickers made up, he does some great stickers. And like I said, we'll probably have some up next time we call on podcast.
Well, all I got to say before we go is live good, ride hard, and we'll catch you next time.